Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to WCS Challenger, as we have now our final series of the day, and this will determine which of these two players is going to be moving on to WCS Jönköping over in Sweden. A sunny, sunny place. Going to be happening mid-June here as things go down. We've already had several qualify on forwards. We're going to get another Zerg between Nerchio and Namshar.
Yeah, Zerg's doing pretty well over in Europe, apparently, and to be honest, Terran is the only race that's doing really bad, right? But so far, Zerg doing better than everybody else, including the Protoss, which wasn't always the case last time. Remember, it was Showtime that was able to win the Challenger. This time around, you already went down to the losers brackets at the end of Serral, and now in the upper part of that winners bracket, we've got two Zergs in Nerchio and Namshar trying to already secure their qualification onto Jönköping. Namshar beating Snoot, though. I have to say, Snoot's pretty good ZvZ. Maybe he can do it as well against Nerchio.
It's a good result. Let's see if he can. Let's jump in. We're going to be on sequencer for game number 1. And we do have a spawn going for the bottom left-hand corner. It will be Nerchio in the red. And up to the top right-hand corner, we do have Mr. Namshar in the blue. So, as you said, Namshar coming off that win against Snoot. Namshar kind of making a splash in the past year or two. Not quite the giant splash that the top end players are doing so, but definitely making an impact.
I forgot to mention their teams, by the way.
Euronics Gaming and Dead Pixels.
Yeah, D-Pix.
D-Pix. That's
favorite
correct.
Team.
I think the ESG tag is just as nice, actually. There you go. Yeah. I actually wanted one of their hoodies, but I never got one. It's a nice hoodie.
You ordered it, or?
No.
You asked for one?
I just wanted one.
And you didn't even ask somebody? Like you thought they telepathically would know and then give one?
I think they replied to me one time, but then nothing ever came to it. Never ever came of it.
I'm sure Nerchio made sure of it.
Probably, yeah. He hates me. It's fine. Every time. It's funny. I think he doesn't hate me, but he makes it abundantly clear that whenever I see him, he's just like, "What are you doing here? Why are you doing StarCraft? Why are you here? Huh? Isn't there a HOTS tournament?"
But he does
here?
that for everybody.
Yeah,
like even now, what he say, like, "Good luck, have an Namshar in you." I can't tell if he's, friendly or kind of hates Namshar. Probably both.
Probably. Yeah. Sure. Why not?
He's the same to me.
He's
when
the
I see him at events, he just like comes around me and he's like, "Hey, you're a caster," something.
You making that caster money, Todd? I hope he doesn't hear my impression.
I hope he does.
It's all in good fun. Every single tournament though, he's like, "Where is the HOTS tournament going on? It's not here." I'm like, okay.
He knows.
I know.
He knows where your real allegiance belongs.
Yeah, I know. I think everyone does at this point. I make no bones about it, but I still enjoy StarCraft all the same, so happy to be here, folks. Getting some good games today. Some very good series between Showtime, his opponents, and then Serral deciding to smash him off the face of the earth. And now we have our ZvZ.
Yeah, it was so sick to see Showtime dismantle two Zergs in a row, but then be dismantled himself. And now we've got a ZvZ on our hands. An earlier banning nest here for Nerchio, actually, as opposed to Namshar, who's completely skipped on that here so far.
It makes me think that this third hatchery is very early. If he's going to hold this, if he could just make a lot of links behind this and then cancel and go.
Yeah, that's a cancel, I think.
Yeah, I don't think he actually saves this.
That's one in fights.
Queen. He just wants to keep it alive for as long as possible to sell the idea. Although 12 Zerglings are following this up for Namshar on the other side. So they're going to be going blow for blow. It's the Baneling Nest that is the most important key to all of it, if he goes over the other side.
Yeah, Nerchio actually saved that, and because he made so many links, he might be inclined here to go across the map and try to put on some more aggression. There is a Spine Crawler here for Namshar. Very well placed. That one Queen, a little bit out of position there. Right. She was like the Lion Queen, standing on that ledge here.
On Pride Rock.
Holding a Queen Cub. Yeah.
The circle of Lings. Well, Ling's going to try and head on in past that and get that creep tumor very quickly. There's Lings on the other side, though. A big swell of them. Is there any defensive Banelings is the question right now. He might separate some Lings off and try and morph them.
Oh, yeah, Namshar still walking on that hatchery here across the map. There's no Banelings nearby, so This looks like it's going to be a snipe here. Very nicely done by Namshar, who's securing his own third hatchery in the meantime and taking to lair now.
Yeah, you can see that the two lings were separated off there for all.
He can still run inside of the main base. Nerchio, did he forget he has a baning nest? He's not morphing anything.
Yeah, he hasn't morphed any, not only for the offense, but also the defense, and that's not in exactly the best positions at all here. Doesn't really have that many lings. He has 10 more about to pop here, but Namshar could get quite a lot of damage done if he's not careful. And he needs to macro those drones very, very carefully. 3 have gone down so far. The Queen should be able to help on.
Wait, Nerchio's droning up? He's got a couple lings. I guess he should have enough, especially if he can block them there.
That's very good. Very, very good. Now keeps them sealed in. He's going to wall off with the Queens, perhaps, maybe?
In the meantime, Namshar can drone up like crazy, though. And with such an earlier lair tech, he's going to have everything a little bit earlier than his opponent. Now, we saw previously... okay, nice block. Finally gets rid of the circles. But we saw previously in those qualifiers, remember, there were games where somebody teched way earlier than the opponent, but then still ended up losing.
That's true.
Or is it like Gyarados or...
Gyarados and... Oh, yeah, you're right.
Like, yeah, we saw one game in particular where like one of the Zerg's lair hadn't started when the opponent had already finished, and he still won just by getting enough roaches at the right time.
And that window is the one where it's like you're maxing out on roaches, and then you're trying to go up to the infestors and stuff like that, and that can be fraught with danger. But the interesting thing is that Namshar right now has to be looking at this quite confidently. He saw a Baneling nest that hasn't been used at all.
Yeah.
So that's actually, in a finite game of ZvZ, quite a bit of gas early on.
Look at how much later the roach run from Nerchio is here. Whereas Namshar already started roach production. I feel like if Namshar from there only made roaches and then went for an attack on the third base of Nerchio, there would be too much for Nerchio to handle. And look at this Nerchio. He even takes a huge risk.
That is...
If that were to come, he starts an infestation pit, probably hoping that Namshar will be staying at home and playing passively. He might just threaten to do Zergling run-bys against him, but it's really not that many Zerglings out there. And I think Namshar's good enough as well to exploit that one wall that he's got, not to let these guys get in.
The Zerglings are just going to threaten the counter to stop these roaches from coming back, because if they do go across the map with the Clear Reconstitution and the +1, he just dies. I'm pretty sure that's a lot more roaches that he's going to have with a significant upgrade advantage. Did he cancel Gleal? He just cancelled Clear Reconstitution.
Yeah, I think he realized he wasn't finished.
Yeah,
he wasn't going to finish on time, and he's on creep anyway. Like, these roaches are quite decent and faster on it. Namshar didn't quite wait for the extra roaches to get there to start fighting. Queens are going to help tremendously here for Nerchio, but he doesn't have enough roaches in the first place to start taking that engagement.
Doesn't have +1. Doesn't have +1. These transfusions are going to have to be absolutely impactful here, as +1 has just finished up now. So thankfully, he will be able to kind of bite the bullet a little bit, but he's losing out on the numbers severely at the moment. Now starts Clear Reconstitution again, try and keep himself in this down the line. But even a Ravager has joined the case now, and drones are coming off the line here. Nerchio knows he's in quite a bit of trouble.
And Namshar closes in on these Queens here. He takes them out, and that's going to be no eject on the natural and third base here for Nerchio. So it's going to be a lot of units here that he's going to be missing. Upcoming behind this, Namshar can just keep on rallying units across the map and get super far and even more ahead here in the unit production and army supply.
I mean, technically speaking, there is still another heavy window here, which is the +2 weapon window, if Namshar is able to make enough roaches and then hit once again.
Nerchio has 0 queen right now.
Yeah, he's making some himself, but...
I mean, he's remaking not even one per base, actually. He's not making one on the third base. So in terms of injects, he's going to be super lacking, like... Supply-wise, Namshar will completely take off there, and I think he might be able to close things out against Nerchio here in a second.
The thing is that he's making 2 infestors, but if these roaches hit now, the infestors aren't popping with pathogen glands, so you won't even have a fungal or so on them to actually utilize as the small advantage you could have potentially had in the small window. So these roaches are just going to do a lot here. The Ravager's trying to hit the corrosive vials, though. Trying to equalize the odds, not going to happen at all. If they don't hit those, then they're really not equalizing those numbers. He's hitting just before +2, though. I think he's worried about the potential for those infestors.
Yeah, no, I think it's the right move, and he has too much. GG gets called. Namshar wins game number 1 here. Namshar doesn't care about seeds here.
Yeah,
took out what the top 4 seeds snoot, and now going up 1-0 against Nerchio.
Very, very good stuff there. It was interesting the way Nerchio approached it, like having the Baneling nest, not using them in the offense or the defense as an anticipatory move. Yeah. Difficult. There you go.
Okay, lives never change.
do what I can. Cool. So Namshar 1 game up at the moment. With the very heavy swell of roaches and well executed, just good timings.
Namshar is actually ranked 13 currently in the WCS Circuit. And if he was to win the tournament, I think he might be ranked 9, so right outside the top 8. And I mean, if he wins that tournament, he will mean, or that challenger, it will mean that he has beat Snoot, Nerchio, and then Serral, which would be pretty insane. That would make him one of the favorites to do well for the rest of the year as well. So he's always been that guy that's got a good potential, practices a lot, and definitely he can do well in these tournaments, but also hasn't quite got there yet. Like, he's had a couple tournaments where he's had deep runs in the past, but not, hasn't really made finals yet in a major tournament. In Austin, he did go really far. Let me double check. I'm no Rotty. I don't remember every single match that was played ever, so I actually have to use Liquipedia for that stuff.
Yeah, that's fine.
It was... Yeah, he actually made the round of 16 and played a very close series against Showtime, which he lost 2 and 3. And actually, like, I remember even watching that, thinking that Namshar very well could have done even better if he had met other people. Because obviously, you meet Showtime, and I mean, you would have had to play Neeb in the next round.
No.
Can you invite me? Or?
I can invite you. Seems like they're currently arguing.
The call-out has been reversed.
That's fine.
Because I thought you were... They started?
They started! Well, have fun.
Wow.
Get ready to watch.
You dare call me out, and then you don't even get me in the game.
It's not my fault.
Why are you not on my friend list?
I don't know. The admins normally invite you. It's not me.
I'm gonna add you, and then I'll delete you as soon as this tournament's over.
Don't do that. Don't. Where am I? Best of 5, Namshar. That one. This one. No. There we go. All right, let's get into it. Game number 2. Down to the bottom right-hand corner, it's going to be Nerchio representing ESG Euronics Gaming. And up to the top left-hand corner, we do have Namshar 1 game up in this best of 5.
Playing for?
Dead Pixels. D-Pix. And let's see what they're going to do.
Hey, it's the beach map.
The beach. Yeah.
Puddles, palm trees. Actually, are there actual palm trees on this map? Like proper palm trees?
That's a palm tree.
Yeah, very few of them.
That's a palm tree. That's a crystal. Anything else? More palm trees? They're palm trees.
Every map should have this tile set.
What? The beach?
Yeah.
So you don't like the snow? I'm still looking for
Not so much.
No? This is a palm tree. They're weird trees.
Let's not do...
No, we're doing a whole surveillance.
Let's not do Uber. We're looking for stop signs on a map.
Wait, what?
You don't remember that VOD review? Where they were looking for stop signs on the map?
Oh, you mean like in Overwatch?
In another game.
Oh,
in a lesser game than StarCraft.
Oh, okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
There's a palm tree. Okay, I'll stop.
Actually, the ramp, like, going around the third base... Yeah, this one with the debris is really weird, just because it's so narrow. So you have to keep that in mind, like if you ever have to reinforce that location. Maybe that's why a lot of players, they take the one on the other side. Just because, like, even though it's more open for the opponent, it also is for you to kind of reinforce in that location. Mostly against Terran, I would say, like, this matters in the sense that the Terran can be there 1 second, and then you go there and defend, but then he picks up and boosts in your main, and then all of a sudden you're in trouble, right? That's like the one thing you worry about. But in ZvZ, shouldn't be the case nearly as much. By the way, pay attention when they're going to step in the water when I hear the
Sure, definitely.
the sound.
Neither player has seen this person's second overlord just yet. These two are going to bump into each other eventually, vision-wise.
So last game, it was Nerchio getting the Baning Nest and not Namshar, and it looks like the roles have been reversed here. So far.
Second
but
one.
Nerchio gets his at least. I was really surprised, actually, by last game, the way... He was going for Nerchio because he was the one making a ton of Zerglings. He saved his third base at first and he was looking okay, but then he kind of fell apart. He got run by a ton of Zerglings, started losing drones, the third base got sniped, and then from there he was like just super far behind.
With the Bailey Nest at the back here, Namshar is going to be a bit more aggressive. It's less likely to be scouted by initial overlords.
Yeah.
So these Zerglings are going to float out, and he's going to try and hit the third again.
Because of the map overlay last game, I liked what Namshar did, where he walled off, he got one spine, and then he just played defensively with the Queen there, made less units than his opponent, and with the few units that he made, he achieved the maximum amount possible of damage. But this time around, Namshar might be wanting to play aggressive, a lot more aggressive, because he gets the Lings at first, and I think he's trying to catch Nerchio off guard with not enough units to defend.
He's been threatening that Morphin for a few times now here with the Banelings, so if Nerchio's been reading into it, he should be able to defend this with similar amounts of units, as well as the Queen defensive advantage. His Lings move to the back there, and actually that was a very good spot by Nerchio to get them in a good defensive spot, but the overwhelming numbers there from Namshar do win out. It's up to the Banelings now to do some damage. Still, that Queen poses a great threat, especially since that Baneling's still around. Can't hit it with those Zerglings just
both
yet.
players have to tread very carefully there. They're going to be droning behind this. But Nerchio, with the earlier third base, if he can complete that so much earlier and drone up comfortably on that, he should be in a good position here in this game. Surprised Namshar actually hasn't started working on that just yet.
2 for 1 trade. 2 Zerglings for 1 Baneling. Not bad there for Namshar. He really, with the slight investment over Nerchio that he took for this third, wants to try and do some damage, but can't really find any way in. Those Banelings were completely sacrificed, and there's a lot of Lings here down towards the back as well, as Nerchio is just GG.
All right, well, that's ZvZ for you. A fairly quick game number 1. And an even quicker game number 2 with Nerchio being super decisive and making the most of the situation against a Namshar that strangely overcommitted here to the aggression and wasn't able to do enough.
Yeah, Swift and Nerchio had spotted out so much of that very quickly, despite not seeing the Baneling Nest at the back, seeing the Banelings morphing as quickly as he did at the front and then constantly chasing down the 2. Yeah, difficult for Namshar. So
all tied up. It's now a best of 3.
That's right, it's now a best of 3. Who popularized that? Was it Tasteless? We're going to kill him for that.
Maybe, I mean, the logic would be that he was Apollo, right?
True, yeah. Damn you, Sean.
The mathematics, the reductive mathematics is a specialist in esports.
That's one way to describe him.
Do you know, I wonder if we had new results in the losers bracket, trying to check for that.
Were there even other games going on now? It was the 2 series before, right?
Yeah, yeah, no, Elaser beats Snoots. Actually, Snoots out. And Bly beats Hero Marine 2-0. Hearthstone beat Mana 2-1. Lambo beat Tidrogo 2-1. We had already seen that, I think. So yeah, in losers round 3 right now. Elaser is playing Bly. That's probably showing on another stream. So if you guys want to have a look, just make sure you open some of these other streams to try and see who's playing where.
Would be good. And as you can see here are the current results that are coming in, etc., etc. So, let's invite you to the game as well. There you go. Make sure that you're in this one. It's a good job the one that you weren't in was only about 5 minutes long.
Yeah. I was like, I had to watch here, like this.
It's not.
It's funny, I couldn't see the corner of the minimap, so I couldn't see it. Like, Nerchio had expanded for a little bit. Sorry if Namshar had taken the third hatch, but we make do, I guess.
It'll do. That'll do, pig.
Did you say pig?
Yeah, that'll do, pig. That'll do.
What?
It's from something.
Oh, apparently Laser beat Bly 2-0. I just refreshed right now out of the blue. And then Laser beat Bly 2-0, and he's now going to face Showtime in the losers round of 4. And I think we'll show that tomorrow.
Lobby, yup. Giorgio.
Apparently Showtime only has to play 1 matchup this tournament.
Apparently, yeah.
And the crazy thing is, if he wins, he would have to face Lambo or Hearthstone. So probably going to be Lambo, right? Because we only want PVZs from Showtime.
Apparently, yeah. So
Hearthstone is playing well, I guess.
That will be a best of 5 between Showtime and Laser tomorrow. And then the next one will be a best of 5. And then after that, we do have 2 best of 3s. And the final will be best of 5 with a 1 map advantage for the winner of the upper bracket. So between Cyril and
You lost me at the first best of 5, so...
That was simple. So the winner of Serral and Nerchio or Namshar will have a 1-map advantage going into the final best of 5.
I like that.
Yes.
I think like whoever wins the winners brackets should have a 1-map advantage.
Yeah. It was always too much when you had
Extended series?
Yeah, in the final
It wasn't
MLGs.
Yeah, it wasn't much at all. When I beat Alicia 2-0, I was glad that I started 2-0 in the best of 7.
I bet you were. All right, let's get into game number 3. Up to the top right-hand corner of Defenders Landing, we do have Mr. Nerchio making those lings go in the previous game. And down at the bottom left-hand corner, we have Namshar for Dead Pixels.
All right.
Yes. I should say it in a sultry but yet professional tone. Representing Dead Pixels.
Considering these two players and their general style and what they are capable of in macro, they don't actually have to play that aggressive, but it just feels like their series so far has been very mind game heavy, really trying to trick the opponent, catch him with his pants down, you know, like try and surprise. And sometimes it's worked, sometimes not so much. Nerchio's defense in the previous game obviously was really good. We'll see if that continues here and who would be aggressive. Maybe both of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's oftentimes in ZvZ versus Zerg now whenever I watch it. Somebody will be aggressive, but they're not aggressive to the point where if it doesn't work, they flat out die. It's always the counter attack that will end up killing them if it fails off the back. So it's never like a super ridiculous, my economy is busted otherwise. There's always the potential to transition if it goes 50-50, but so let's see. There's a lot of gas has been coming in for Nerchio quicker than Namshar.
Yeah, Namshar is only mining with 1 on the gas here. That's very interesting. He's prioritizing the minerals quite a bit. This might mean he wants to go into quite a few queens, maybe take a quick 3rd base. Maybe wall off and go for roaches. Again, you know, there are Zergs that feel a lot more comfortable going to a lot of roaches than playing with Zergling Bane. We've seen guys like Hyun, Snoot make magic happen with that unit the roach in the past.
It depends on how you would like to wall off. And with those Zerglings looking to already start working on the cooling tower, I think that you're probably right with that. Like, this will be a very difficult location to wall off if you were going to try like a more mineral-based style with just
I mean, you can from the ramp to the hatchery, right?
Yeah, I suppose you can, yeah. And there's a spine crawler going down as well, so it definitely looks like that's going to be the way.
So even though Namshar opened with the gas and is mining from it, this is as close to playing with the gas and looking kind of like you're playing gasless as it gets. Because he's prioritized mineral mining and he's going for the spine.
Oh, Lynx get in. Spot the Baneling Nest. Good stuff. Good moves by Namshar so far. He knows that his spine crawler and his lack of gas commitment so far, if his opponent's to crash up against him via just this path, could work out. But there's no big swell of Lings just yet for Nerchio, despite his speed about to finish up and his Baneling Nest going down. So I think he's probably abandoned it if he was gonna try just before.
Yeah, at this point and on this map, it's can be very encouraging also to take the 3rd base. Whoa, wait a second. No, that's not going to do anything. Yeah, the 3rd base that's horizontal to that 2nd base. I think for both players, more so than taking the one in the middle, that would be way more exposed to an attack just because the way those debris are set up there. Even though you have the smoke, like because there are overlords in the middle of the map, you can't really do something super sneaky early on in the game. Namshar going for 20 Zerglings right there.
That's a lot. Is he banking them up?
He saw that 3rd hatchery from Nerchio go down. He's like, you know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try to get a cancel on that here. Even though he saw the Baneling Nest.
I mean,
those queens are going to be trapped. Look, they're chasing an overlord, but the cooling tower, if he takes that down here, Nerchio... Okay, no, easy. Get home. Run home.
Run.
He's going to try to get the surround here, Will Namshar.
2 Banelings are morphing in. That might prompt him to pull back in a second. He puts 3 Zerglings on it, knowing that they could be a threat. And he will get one. Second one goes down as well. Good move from Namshar so far. 1 Baneling explodes for just 2 Zerglings alone. He needs more than that, Todd. Lots of Zerglings coming out from either side.
Nerchio is going to bring more Lings here to that location. Looks like he might be able to defend that, but after trading some Banelings in the first place. And Nerchio If he's able to defend at third base, he's going to be golden here once again, much like in the previous game. I think he would be in a very good position, even if a little bit behind on the walker count.
He will. I think the only thing he's behind is the layer, right? Yeah, it's just starting to morph in here for Nerchio.
He didn't finish the cooling tower, by the way, in the midst of all this. Later evolution chamber as well for Nerchio up against a Namshar who's already started his +1 missile. So tech-wise, Namshar in a really good position, but economy-wise, I would say Nerchio, if he drones up here a little bit, should be ahead.
But right now, the current state of the income is that Namshar's actually not doing too badly. 42 workers against 36. So Nerchio, as you say, really needs to get over to that third base fast. But he's going to be going up against a swell of roaches with +1 and Glial. That's kind of scary again.
Yeah, Nerchio actually made a whole bunch of roaches. Not sure if he wants to fake an attack there to force units or if he actually means to go for this. This one queen was chasing an overlord down on the map and he's going to be surrounded.
Nice.
By Namshar. Nicely done. And then he can run straight into the main, force these links to come back and defend.
I don't know. These roaches, if they're out this far and Glial Reconstitution finishes, they're all dead. Like, Glial is going to finish up pretty soon. The links have to come and reinforce this. If Nerchio has any.
By the way, what Namshar's doing on the other side of the map, he's speed racing on a wet circuit right now.
Yeah.
He's as dangerous as he gets. There could have been one baning there that could blow up everything. Let's see Namshar chase onto these roaches there. He might expose himself here to a full surround as well if he overextends.
Yeah, the timing just barely worked out there for Nerchio. And actually he is back now and is okay. But +1's about to finish up as well for these roaches. 10 seconds left here as those lings are just kind of buffering up against those roaches. Namshar reinforcing with a little bit more. And oh, this is going to work out. There's the +1 now. Reinforcements come in. Nerchio is going to push them off this creep. The numbers just slightly favoring him, but he was slightly on move command there as well. And more roaches are going to come in. Nerchio can't win this fight. He needs to get more reinforcements.
+1 missile, by the way. Nerchio not yet, so I don't think he should have been taking this fight. Nerchio overextended here without Glial Reconstitution. Went off creep, and Namshar is punishing him for it. He's getting better trades. And he keeps on reinforcing with more and more roaches. Namshar saves us so many roaches in the back of his army here with no hit points. As long as they can get a few more hits in it, he might be able to do it.
These are all completely dead. He's keeping some of them alive at the back as well here. Great little micro from Namshar, as now he's really gotten to the heart of Nerchio's base and can kill off as many roaches as he likes here with a superior number, a superior count. His timing on Glial and +1 is just better in these two games that it's occurred.
And he used it beautifully as well. Like, it's one thing to make it earlier, but then use it like that. Namshar pulls ahead with 2-1 here up against Nerchio. With some great ZvZ play and still some quick game.
And let's I remind you, though, this series is for a spot at WCS Jönköping. So if Nerchio falls to Namshar here to qualify directly onto Jönköping, of course he will have a second chance. But Namshar is in a great spot for an upset.
The hometown hero, Namshar, playing in his own country and the city.
That's it. That's very, very true. It's always funny when, like, you qualify for tournaments that are, like, in a smaller country than, say, America, for example. It's like, you've won an all-expenses-paid trip to down the road. Congratulations. Oh,
actually, I say that it's like a little bit of a meme, like, / joke, because every time we went to France, all these guys like Apollo and Roti and Nathanias, like they thought it was so funny to say, "Oh, we're going to Todd's hometown in tours and stuff." I was like, "I've never even been to that city." And they're like, "So Todd, we're in your hometown. Like, do you know the good spot and stuff?" And like they would say it on there as well. I was like, "God, like."
I remember.
This is definitely not my hometown. I don't even know about the city.
Tours is a weird place. I was going to say an interesting place, but it's just a weird place. It's very old style. What was that Tours? Was that? Where were we? Poitiers.
Ah, Poitiers.
Like where they host the assembly or whatever, and it's like this very
but it's
weird
not even like
town.
in the city. It's like.
No, I suppose not. It's very strange though. Is that just all France? No.
What?
Nothing. All right, let's get into it. Game number.
Keep hating, hater.
4. As we do have currently Nerchio on 2, Namshar. No, sorry, Nerchio on 1. And Namshar on 2. Up to the top right-hand corner will be our red Zerg. It's going to be ESG Nerchio. And down to the bottom left, we have one game away from qualifying from WCS Jönköping. It's D-Pix Namshar. Doing well. Doing really well.
If you had to pick a team to be on in the European scene, what team would you pick?
In the European scene, which team would I pick?
What's your dream team? And like you can pick any multi-gaming, not even like just teams that are on StarCraft.
Ooh, that's interesting. I suppose I would pick Dignitas.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. I'm too British. Like, And I have a deep affinity for them in the Heroes scene because actually Brits are winning video games, which is nice. 2 of them, not the full team.
Yeah, come on. There was Bling, the Muslim, and all these guys on StarCraft.
That's true. But were they championship players?
Yeah. Of Insomnia Lands.
The haters.
I love these guys, come on.
Yeah, they're very cool. They
I think I'd be on Team Liquid.
Yeah?
Team Liquid's the sickest team.
I think Team Liquid has just a fantastic reputation all around, right?
Too bad it wouldn't magically give me skill.
No? Sorry, mate.
Maybe it would.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be good. It'd be good to join Team Liquid. I mean, even in Heroes, they have a great reputation as well. Recently picking up the previous Misfits team with Hasuobs. Imagine that. Imagine telling ex-StarCraft people currently Hasuobs is Liquid Hasuobs. There you go.
I mean, to be honest, every team out there should want to have this guy.
Yeah.
Esport legends.
Yeah.
If there is ever like a proper esport Bible made, there's going to be like a couple of stories about Hasuobs in there.
There'll be the 10-year mouse sport stint of Hasuobs, joining when he was like, what, 14 or something?
One of the great oracles of all time.
The great oracle.
Namshar actually getting really cheeky here in this game. He went for 3 bases and he's playing completely gasless up to this point. He might be relying on wall-ins, which the 2 games that Namshar has had quite a bit of success in, he played with a spine crawler and played fairly gasless style. Mostly relied on queens and stuff. So this might be what he's more comfortable in with rather than, you know, playing with speed, baning, going across the map and getting into the slugfest that is Link Bane against Link Bane.
So if Nerchio actually wants to deal with this, he has to be the aggressor and he has to find a way in to
I mean, not
even
just
it
that.
up.
Nerchio cannot know about this, which is what makes it so great too. If you look at Nerchio's vision, what has he seen right now? He saw a hatchery on the outdoor base here of Namshar. He never saw the pocket expansion being taken, so he can't know. Unless Nerchio blindly chooses to go for aggression, which would be a big risk, he's not going to know. And guess what? Nerchio's making a ton of links.
Yes, he is.
He might know the style of Namshar so well that he's able to tell that this is one of the build order that Namshar is using right now. Namshar is going to have so little time to react to this. He's going to see those links here with his Overlord, and he needs to start a wall right now, including spine crawlers.
That Overlord has been lazy. It could have been a little bit further up.
Namshar, let's see that wall.
It could
The
have.
Architect of Zerg here.
The Architect of Zerg. Well, that's already a good start to that wall.
He's sending the queens, but they're so slow to get down the ramp here, and that wall is low on hit points. Because those buildings only now started. If Links get in, it's going to be a disaster here for Namshar. He's going to start more buildings behind this.
This is a big, big wall, and the Queen has been sealed in here as well, so it's going to get damage done regardless.
Oh, he can block it with Queen on the left-hand side.
Yeah, he needs to make more. He needs to make another Evolution Chamber.
Oh, this is sick. Namshar so far pulling it off here. Those Links taking a ton of damage, and as soon as that spine finishes, he's going to help a lot as well.
If they don't get through, then this is going to be lights out almost.
Oh, he might need to block with drones here between that spine and the minerals.
Yep.
He doesn't.
Oh, but I think it...
Oh, no, he does.
The Lynx, they're trying to get on towards the spine crawler as much as possible, working on those drones at the same time. They're going to try and flood through to the main base, and the Queens did not have these bases joined up, so now they're going to have to walk slowly to the back of these mineral lines.
Namshar is still ahead on drones. That's going to change now. Nerchio is droning up like a madman behind this. He's still looking to try and snipe some more of these guys here.
Ooh.
It's been a defense, but a costly one. If he had had at least one spine already made, I think he was especially greedy. Like, Namshar really took this to a whole other level.
You know what's even smarter behind all of this? Nerchio has already started his +1 weapons because he knows he doesn't want to fall behind in any kind of roach war going into the mid-game. So, like has been previous in 2 of our 3 games. So, nice little moves here by Nerchio.
Yeah. And he's already saturated on 3 bases himself. That was sick. Like, both... Namshar taking the risk, like, sure, props, but at the end of the day, at least I think one spine would have been nice to have already ready in that location. And Nerchio to somehow realize that this is what was happening, that's huge. I don't know what he saw exactly. Maybe he saw like some sort of saturation on the second base, like the outdoor expansion, and was like, well, just from that, I can go for an attack because I feel like you might have been getting a little bit greedy. There was a similar situation actually at BlizzCon, where Dark in one of the games against Laser, he did a similar thing. Like he just went and punished the grid right out, even though he had seen like very minimal things. And when asking Laser about it later, he was like, well, that's just because Dark is so smart. He saw a very few things, but just from that, he was able to make the right conclusions and realize what I was doing and then just punish me for it.
Nerchio is going for the gold base, so he doesn't... The thing is that Nerchio is probably one of the best versed in terms of mid to late game stages, Zerg versus Zerg in Europe, so he doesn't even mind if he breaks down the rocks, keeps himself defensive, and then just applies better economical pressure over his opponent. Namshar, yes, he's going for a 4th base, but it's a normal base, not exactly the gold. He's in a great spot right now, especially with the fact that he's getting his infestation pit out because he can hit this window. He can have this window, like, undeterred. There's not much ways that Namshar can put pressure on against Nerchio right now, so why not eke out that infestation pit?
I think it's really smart, yeah. Like, when you're ahead, you don't necessarily always have to make army, run across the map and go for the fights. There are other ways to get more ahead. Especially if you're as good with Infestors as this guy is, which is truly one of the best.
He sees the infestation pit and he sees double Evo, so he's got a bit more information now.
What is he going to do about it?
Oftentimes, you just see the Zergs in his position just swell up roaches and hope to bust through and kill.
He might drop? Wait, what?
Ooh.
Oh, that's huge.
I wonder why he was just getting a new...
I don't think he can get across the map undetected, though. That's the thing. Nerchio's going to see this and know that he drops.
There's a good wall of overlords in place to actually deal with that. And he has a lot of roaches.
Dropping against Nerchio as well, that's like almost ironic, right? That's trying to give him a taste of his own medicine. He's one of the Zergs that use drops the most. He's going to bite his own overlord.
This isn't going to work. Like, he has half of his army here, and some of it is Ravagers that aren't doing as much DPS unless they hit the Corrosive Vial. So he's just going to get completely overwhelmed.
Yeah, Nerchio's going to try to break through that location. The Spinecrawler eventually is going to be targeted down here. There's still a lot left over here for the Polish Zerg player. The drops are going to start hitting those mineral lines. One of these overlords across the map died before it even dropped units.
Oh, that's not a great position to be in at all. Nerchio here, with the far superior army, is just going to march through into this natural and easily kill off everything else that actually remains here. There wasn't even clear Constitution here for Namshar as well. That first attack had just set him back a little bit too far. GG, 2-2, as we go into our final game of the night.
8 minutes, 8 seconds. Are we going to see a long game in this series here? ZvZ is fast and furious so far.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think it's great to watch this kind of aggression coming out from both players, just kind of trying to ease out little advantages here and there in the early stages. Very cool. Ooh. Fast and furious.
Who would be Namshar and Nerchio in the Fast and Furious series?
You're asking me about a film series that I don't have much clue about.
You watch it. Shut up. You watch at least like 2 of the Fast and Furious movies.
A long time ago, like maybe 8 years ago, when it first started. I know The Rock's in it. I know Vin Diesel was in it. I know some white guy was in it.
I think Nerchio would be Braga. You know that Braga guy?
Braga, no.
Well, I think that was his name. I don't even remember. Actually.
Show me a picture, and I might know who you're on about. I probably won't.
I hope I'm right about this. I don't even know how you spell it. Oh yeah, I found
Braga, fictional character.
That's not him. Yeah, that's him.
What does he do?
He's one of the bad guys.
Of course, Nerchio's a bad guy.
Braga's pretty badass. He has like a very scary voice.
Yeah.
When he speaks, you respect.
Do you?
So, yeah, probably not Nerchio actually.
No. Just go, I'm coming for you. Like that? No? That's not Nerchio?
No, no. I'll show you a video later. You'll understand.
I got some heat, I think, about 1.5 years ago when I said that Nerchio is Megamind. You know?
Why?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. He just
What's
reminded me of
Megamind?
Megamind. Google Megamind.
Is that a bad thing or?
No, it's a villain. Well, I think it's just because he's got a big head. Like, that people thought, like, I don't know.
I mean, that's pretty offensive. Look at this guy.
That's
He's blue and he got a huge head. You'd have to be like the most positive person in the world to look at a photo of Mega Man and be like, yeah, actually, you know what? I got a big brain. Like, he does look kind of like me.
I'm thinking beyond looks, all right? He's supposed to be an evil genius. I don't know.
Why would you say that anyway? Like, how did that even come up?
Because why not? I don't know. I don't know what conversation we were having. I can't remember. It was on
Who
cast.
would you be in a Fast and Furious movie?
Who would I be in the Fast and Furious movie? The Rock. I'm pumped.
No.
What
You'd
do
be
you
the guy that loses in a race.
I don't know who that is.
No, but anybody that loses in a
Anybody.
race to anybody that races.
Does The Rock ever lose in a race?
No, it's not The Rock.
Does Vin Diesel ever lose in a race?
Yeah, that's Vin Diesel. You'd be losing to Vin Diesel in a race.
No, does he lose in a race ever?
No,
What?
of course not. It's Vin Diesel.
He's not a god.
In those movies, he certainly
Apparently,
is.
yeah, I suppose. What was the last Vin Diesel movie I saw? Triple X? I don't know.
You've watched that?
No. Oh, wait, no. The best Vin Diesel movie, Chronicles of Riddick. It's awesome. I want more Chronicles of Riddick films.
I think nobody liked these movies.
You are wrong. The necromongers. Enslaving.
All right, let's jump into game.
Let's go
I've
again.
had enough of this.
All right. It's a great film. Good luck, have fun. Up to the top left, we do have Mr. Nerchio in the red. Tweet me if you think that Chronicles of Riddick's a great film. And down at the bottom right-hand corner, we have Namshar in the blue. Both of these players are one game away from qualifying for WCS Jönköping here as we continue here for WCS Challenger. Alongside me is Todd Johan Merlo, and we are going to be getting into game number 5.
Did you watch the last Kong movie, Skull Island?
Do you mean the one that was at the cinemas recently?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I wanted to, but I didn't. I don't often go to the cinema, and when I did last time, I went alone. Oh.
I thought it was pretty bad.
Was it bad?
Yeah.
That's sad. I'm going to go to the cinema
There are
alone
no
again.
good movies these days, almost.
I heard that Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was good.
I mean, yeah, it would be hard for this to be bad, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
As long as they're in space and you got all these characters, like...
Yeah. Batista.
Even if they're
the
playing
next wrestler.
Scrabble, it would be fun.
Scrabble in space. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Scrabble edition. I don't know.
Groot can only make one word.
I'm like, you're not very good at this, are you, Groot? Groot? Wow.
It's mirror build orders here so far from these guys. What a sick map, by the way, to end the series on. Like a map where you have 2 Zelnaga towers in the middle of the map, on which you can clearly see the opponent move out if they do. And pretty wide areas around the natural bases, which Namshar has been the one that has preferred and opted most of the time to play with a spine crawler and play a little bit more gasless, you know, and greedier than Nerchio.
Baneling Nest on the way for Namshar all the way up the back. So this is going to be difficult to scout out. It's going to be up to those 2 lings, but 4 lings and 2 queens are already coming out here for Namshar to deny that scout. So he might be the aggressor. Get it good. We'll see. Nerchio has to play very, very carefully in this last game if Namshar is going to take this kind of play. 4 lings spread out.
It's crazy how from one game to another, like, they really try to trick one another, but for the most part, I would say Nerchio has been the one that has played more safer and safer. He hasn't tried anything like super greedy. Remember, we're in game 5 as well. It almost feels like it's funny because, like, you would think game 5, it's time to play safe. It's time to not take any risk. Well, guess what? Safe is bad against in StarCraft 2 against somebody who plays super greedy and kind of takes that risk themselves.
Yeah.
But then, what's greedy bad against? Playing risky and going for the aggression. So it's like that rock, paper, scissor-esque scenario where players try to take chances, try to get some informations here and there, like the minimum that they can with Zerglings running in. Kind of like the scout we just saw of Namshar, where he saw the Baneling Nest and all that, and right now Namshar knows that
Nerchio's going for it.
he can't be playing greedy. So how should you react? Well, you should get some defense. I think a spine crawler getting a bunch of Baneling Nest at home would be really nice.
Oh, Namshar's taking this 3rd base. All right. This is very open on a Zerg versus
It's almost
Zerg.
as if he's baiting Nerchio to go for an attack, even though Nerchio started his 3rd hatchery, which Namshar did see.
The Banelings walked back. I think overall both players aren't 100% sure as to whether or not the other one's being aggressive. So just playing it very carefully.
And Namshar has got to be the head on drones.
Oh, Zergling got in.
Ahead by 5, and he's starting way more drones than Nerchio right now.
So 3 gas guys is going to be taken here by Namshar. Takes the 2 at the main, natural even I should say. Keeps the 1 at the back hidden.
No attempt at a wall whatsoever, by the way, from Namshar. He just puts the Rotron in the back
Yeah.
of his natural main line. Evo Chamber is going to be thrown down there as well. Nerchio with the earlier 1.
Let's see how these lings are going to fare against the Banelings. That was
Not so
1
well.
Baneling for 4 or 3. Not bad. Not bad. And the ball
Jeez.
foreign. About to finish up. Careful.
Careful, mate.
Careful.
If we could get some drones here, that would be really nice. But obviously, like these few links will never achieve that much.
So
Way earlier lair from
Yeah.
Namshar once again.
exactly. All of those lings got through there from Namshar and spotted that there was no Roach Warren for Nerchio. So with that layer being finished up when he can, Glitter Constitution will hit early again compared to Nerchio's, but not necessarily +1, which he did start quite swiftly. So it'll be about the Glitter Constitution if he could find a window, but I don't think he will find a window. I think this one normalizes out and we get a longer mid-game, unless somebody does something wild.
Yeah, I mean, Nerchio, like, even though he delays his roach run, as long as he saves some good lava to get some of these guys, he should be okay. Yeah, and he did just that. He starts 9 roaches as soon as the roach run is there.
Oh, Nerchio, he keeps finding
Yeah,
little pockets.
that's a lot of drones, actually.
That is. That put him back in the lead economically compared to where it previously was, where Namshar was in the lead. 14 roaches.
Roaches.
Plenty of them. Where's Mr. Shaven Head Pig when we need him? He doesn't look the same. He looks more aerodynamic, I'll give him that. But other than that, not much.
He went from looking like Clark Kent to looking like Lex Luthor. The reverse evolution of the pigster.
Pig, what happened? How many roaches do we have? 14 against 14? Yep. Yeah, figure this one would normalize out.
Yeah, +1 will finish at about the same time, even though it finishes slightly earlier here for Nerchio. Both players they're still squeezing out a couple of drones here and there. And getting a lot of roaches. Actually, some links starting here for Namshar. He might be attacking. He might be going for this. Thinking that he has an earlier +1, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, look, he's getting a ton of links.
Yeah.
So because roaches take a long time to cross the entire map, he's going to make a ton of links to try and reinforce with.
This is ambitious. Like, even without Glitter Constitution here, I still think Nerchio has a pretty
Yeah.
decent defender's advantage.
I mean, Namshar's behind in supply here. He's supposed to realize that in the pullback. Good snipes here on some of those banelings.
Absolutely. He needs to snipe out those so Lynx can actually buffer at the front and do very, very well against them. That Baneling didn't really do much either. Here comes Namshar trying to take down these roaches as quickly as possible. That Spine Crawler providing a little bit of ample extra fire, but Namshar does have the roach numbers currently.
Yeah, Nerchio didn't have Glitter Reconstitution up until now, so his roaches there were kind of derping a little bit and moving around. Got his second spine here in a little bit of a panic. And behind this, Namshar is quite a bit ahead on the walk count. He doesn't actually have to commit to this. Look at this, he uses the low hit point roaches to get a bunch of Ravagers.
Yeah.
That's nice, but also these are terrible at running away. So if he overextends there, these guys might end up dying.
The corrosive biles are going to be super important if he wants to breach this location and bring down the spine crawlers fast. That's where they're going to want to hit. Anywhere near there, not necessarily the roaches. So goes for the first one. Almost brings that
He
down.
might get chased, yeah. He needs to run away here.
Yeah.
Just even let some of these units get sacked and die.
He has way more roaches, and Nerchio's army here is just stronger in a straight-up fight because he will dodge the corrosive biles.
Oh man, what a series. 2 and 2 all tied up. And Namshar having the performance here of a lifetime, beating T-Drogo round 1, then Snoot round 2, and now might be able to take a win against Nerchio and qualify himself for WCS Jönköping. That would be sick.
Yes, it would, but this army of Nerchio's is quite strong. Tunneling Claws on the way here. There's a lot of extra gas invested into Burrow, Tunneling Claws, and Carapace that's
Friendly fire.
that's not necessarily going to aid him in a fight straight away.
That's a great game to get Tunneling Claws in because of the map and the overlay around the natural and main base. Like if he can sneak roaches inside of multiple bases and Nerchio's not ready, it's almost lights out pretty much instantly. So I love that Namshar's going for this. Nerchio on the other side going for Hydralis Den, Infestation Pit as well. On the Overseer count, Nerchio's actually only got 1 and it's very far out of position at the bottom of the map. Bullseye.
That was good. That was good. Well done, Nerchio, knowing that that was just trailing. All right.
Well, I'm getting very worried here for Nerchio because, again, the one Overseer that he has is at the bottom side of the map, doing absolutely nothing. And again, yeah, Tunneling Claws about to finish. Namshar might be able to pull this off.
He needs his own attempt at an Overlord or an Overseer with the army, but he's scared that the corrosive biles from the Ravagers are just going to kill it.
That's a huge pack of roaches at the top. He burrows them.
Oh my god.
Oh no, Nerchio is completely not ready for this. No Overseer in position.
Didn't you just see the roaches though? Didn't you see them get the spikes with the Overseer? Oh my god.
I don't think so. No,
oh my
he's
god.
not ready for this. Namshar is just going to unburrow a ton of roaches here inside of those minerals. Maybe even go for the roach one.
Yeah, he's going to go for the roach one as well as the drones here. He goes for the queen at the back, and that's going to be an overseer morphing in right at the same point. And there's going to be roaches moving in towards the third base as well.
Nerchio is in a world of trouble. He loses 12 drones instantly, and there's going to be way more dying here in a second as his third base is under siege here. Qualifier is going to land on the entire army of Nerchio.
He's not responding to it either because he's paying attention to all of the other bases at the same time here. Nerchio's going to try and chase this back as quickly as he possibly can, but at the same time he is taking still a lot of damage in the other locations. He's tried to split as he could, but those corrosive piles brought all of those roaches very low. Morphing in another overseer, realizing that if those do burrow, they will get out.
And Nerchio doesn't have burrow. It's not like he can heal his army. Look at his army. It looks like he needs to be in Warcraft 3 right now and use a heal scroll.
Yeah, this is not good. Where are the medevacs when you need them? He's making another Roach Warren. At least he had a Hydralist den, so he can make some Hydras.
He restarted Roach Warren so late here. I think Nerchio didn't realize that that was dead. He was probably spamming the R key for a long time, thinking, why are my units not starting? And Namshar is going to go for the killing blow.
That was on a bit of a move command there, but it doesn't really matter because a lot of these Roaches here from Nerchio are very, very weak, and reinforcements coming from the right-hand side as well. As on the left-hand side, the Corrosive Piles are trying to land on a lot of that army, but they get moved back. And this will be Namshar quite easily conquering Nerchio and qualifying himself here for WCS Jönköping. More reinforcements coming from the north-hand side as Nerchio is waning and is losing out a good chunk of this army. That's all he has. GG, Namshar qualifies for WCS Jönköping. Congratulations to him. What a victory.
Look at him. He's on the brink of having a smile right there on that photo. He knows what he's just achieved as he takes out Nerchio. Namshar, remember, he was our rank 13 in the WCS Circuit rankings, and he takes out rank 2. Not bad. Should make him confident for the going up against the rank 3 that's going to be tomorrow in Serral. And a great performance here already out of him. He's qualified for Jönköping. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's a very good victory. Of course, going up against Serral, another player that's very good at Zerg versus Zerg here in the European scene, so we'll see how that plays out. But overall, that guarantees himself a top 4 spot. At least. No, a top 3 spot, at least, in fact. So a big congratulations to him for bagging at least $800. So we can take a look at the bracket now to figure out exactly what has gone on thus far today, as we do have, of course, Nerchio and Namshar playing each other just now, 3-2 in favor of Namshar, with the upset victory not only against Nerchio, but also Snoot. Then we move down a little bit. Serral defeating the architect himself in Showtime.
What does that make him?
The bulldozer?
The Finnish bulldozer.
The Finnish bulldozer. And overall, fantastic showing from him. Here is our lower bracket, which we'll be covering a lot of tomorrow. So what we'll be doing is we'll have Showtime versus the Laser, which will be a best of 5. Nerchio is going to play either against Harstem or Lambo in another best of 5. Both of those series will determine who moves on to WCS Jönköping. From there, we do have 2 best of 3s to cover, down towards the lower semi-final and the loser's semi. And then when we get onto the final, that is how that is going to play out. So that's not fully filled in, but overall, you know, we've just recapped everything. And it's been a damn good day of StarCraft, Todd.
Lots of good games here, and some good stories as well building up into our final day. Again, Showtime showing that he's super strong against Zerg, but Serral was just too much for him. It sets them up very nicely for a rematch potentially later on if it were to happen.
Yes.
Anything's possible. It's crazy actually that they met last time twice. They had such close series, and Showtime came out on top both times. He was, I think, pleasantly happy and almost surprised about it, but then this time around he got completely smashed. And they could be playing. That'd be crazy actually if they played last time twice, because they met in the grand finals again, and this time twice again. But obviously a lot of things have to happen before that. There's still a lot of players still in it, and it's going to be great to find out who are our other 2 players other than the 2 Zergs that we qualified today, qualifying for Jönköping.
Yeah, some great series to come tomorrow. So that does it for us today here for WCS Challenger Europe. Make sure to tune in same time, same place tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central European Summertime, and we shall see you tomorrow for more WCS. One game away from the crowd.